Imagine the storm with Elon Musk actually makes it to the top of the leaderboard.
I'm not here for this reality.
Dude, I know. What is this?
He's ruining every aspect of my life. I can't buy any cars.
You can't ride on airplanes, but for a different reason.
At least I have my single player games and my Xbox, right, Gardner?
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Dude, he's gonna try to buy Microsoft and make it the Tesla box.
It's gonna be the XX box. Come on.
Dude,
Gosh.
dude, just add more X. It's the XX box.
Don't give him ideas. He loves X so much. That seems like something he'd do. He'd buy Xbox.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Off the Console with us, your weekly guides into the weird, nerdy Linux and gaming and weird news. I'm not going on the script today because I had no sleep last night. We're going to be talking about Microsoft Muse, which is their generative AI thing that they released, and we're probably going to talk about the backlash as well. We're also going to talk about Microsoft's new state of matter that they claim to have invented, which I would think would be a discovery rather than an invention, but we'll talk about that. And we're going to talk about a lot of other stuff. We have Team Fortress 2, the source code update. I'm very excited about all of this, so let's just jump into it. What have you guys been playing this week?
This is going to be a surprise. Astrobot.
Oh, wow.
They keep on updating it. And so they have a whole new galaxy that they've updated, that they're updating like new worlds over the next, I think, few weeks.
Yeah.
So it's and it doesn't cost anything. It's like a DLC kind of thing, but it just pops up.
Free DLC in the current year.
It's like PlayStation's flagship right now game, I feel like, and they're doing it right. Meaning, it's a love letter to their fans. It doesn't cost them extra. And it's really well polished, and my kids love it. The reason I keep coming back to it is because my kids keep on playing it. Like my son, who's 4 years old, could probably beat the game now, even though he'll ask for help getting certain things. I have never seen anyone adapt to a game so well as my 4-year-old. It's shocking. He loves it, and so it has the challenging parts for like adults, but also has like a lot of fun, easier things for kids to do. So he keeps playing it and then asking me, and then the worlds pop up, and then we're like, oh, well, looks like we need to beat the game again because, well, not play it over again, but continue playing it because there's more to it. So I'd love to see other publishers and developers do this, where they just add a little bit of extras over time. It doesn't have to be like a ton, but just a little bit. It gives, it makes you feel like you get a little bit more bang for your buck, and I like that.
Oh yeah, man. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I've been playing Marvel Rivals. I've been grinding my way up. I made it to Platinum 2, solo queuing for the most part. And I've also been getting into Ender Magnolia. I beat the game, but I haven't gotten the real ending yet, so there's still some work to be done in that regard. And I haven't given up on 100%ing Balatro. I'm just putting it on pause until the game gets its update.
I was going to say, it sounds like he gave up going to Marvel.
Well, I've been playing Marvel, and I've been juggling Marvel for quite some time now. I think, yeah, they just released new characters, The Thing and the Human Torch, the last two Fantastic Four members. Been kicking a lot of ass, so it's The Thing.
Is there some pretty cool co-op abilities between the Fantastic Four, like the whole group? Because I know, don't they do... Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah, so if you have Sue Storm, you need to have her on the team. Mm-hmm. Any of the other Fantastic Four members get a new ability where they like generate shield based on missing health.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's one of the things that I like about that game is their compound abilities between characters. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and Storm and the Human Torch have a really crazy synergy where if they both use their ults at the same time, the Human Torch can like ignite Storm's like tornado ultimate, where it turns into like a firestorm, and it like eviscerates all the healers, because I fucking hate how powerful the healers are in the game.
Nice.
Dude,
That's
that's so that.
it's a game I still need to get into. I'm just kind of over superhero stuff because like the movies were so good up to a point, and then it's just I don't know.
Dude, it's
Just
because Marvel.
tired of it.
It's because Marvel doesn't know what to do. I mean, like, I think we can all agree that superhero media kind of peaked with Endgame because that was like the grand finale of the MCU at that time. Like, right?
They had a
watching.
vision. It wasn't cookie cutter. It like meaning like they were kind of getting more cookie cutter, I guess, up to that point. But they had it. It was fun. It was exciting to follow the whole story, and then afterwards, it kind of just fell apart as everything just became even more cookie cutter. They're like, okay, we got to release this, and this, and it doesn't feel like anything is very fresh and new. And it's I don't know.
Oh, well, Gardner said he hasn't watched it, and have you like not you haven't watched any of the Marvel movies or just like Endgame in particular?
I saw the first Iron Man, and I saw like the Spider-Man movies way back in the day. But I don't really care for superheroes that much.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. So, just give you a brief summary. It's like a near 20-year arc, starting with Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, and it culminates with them fighting what is essentially at that point the final boss of the MCU, and it was pretty epic, I will say. Now there are some. Now I will admit it's not like the perfect. It's not like a Martin's. It's not like what's a movie that people like to like claim is the greatest. Like it's not Citizen Kane, but it was a pretty fun time. I think the problem is that some of the most iconic superheroes are either dead or retired, along with their actors. They're not doing Marvel anymore.
Yep.
And B, not all they have are like everyone else, like characters that people really don't care that much about, like Ant-Man.
Yeah,
I think
isn't
Ant-Man's
Ant-Man,
fine.
What's his name? The guy Paul Rudd. I like Paul Rudd.
Yeah, Paul Rudd. Yeah, they have an interesting habit of getting comedic actors into superhero roles.
Yeah,
I think it works. I
Yeah,
like
it does.
certain superhero. I'm not even the biggest superhero fan, but it worked. And now that they're doing, I don't know what it is. Like it's just the newer movies just aren't as fun. But on top of that, I'm just not the biggest superhero fan either. But I did enjoy the 20-year run. Like High Tech was mentioning, it was fun to follow a lot of the stuff. Even though I didn't watch I watched almost all of them, but didn't quite. It was fun, but I want to see them do something else, like a different arc that's not superheroes per se, like the industry that is not necessarily Marvel, but I don't know.
I'm more of a Star Trek fan, so I don't know.
When's the last time they made a Star Trek movie, or like anything Star Trek related?
Well,
Last year.
there's like a whole bunch of TV shows on Paramount Plus, but
Oh,
the only one that I really like of those is I like season 3 of Picard, but season 1 and 2 were terrible. And then what was the other one? Beyond. They did the Star Trek Beyond movie back in like 2016, and I really enjoyed that. I know it was very divisive, but I don't know. I'm like a TNG era, like Deep Space Nine Trek guy.
did.
I'm such a nerd.
Hey, I've watched all the Star Treks except for the newest series.
Yeah, if you like the episodic Star Trek stuff, check out Strange New Worlds because it's pretty good. It's not great, but like it's episodic rather than like like a long series drama thing. And it's like Pike and Spock and number one. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I haven't watched the new season, but it's good.
At least we can all agree that they're treating Star Trek a little better than what Disney's been with Star Wars.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say much better, but they're definitely treating it better.
They're like Paramount Plus is where all the new Star Treks are, right? And so it's really kind of weird how they're hiding. They're almost hiding it in some way.
Yeah.
Isn't that where the Halo show is too?
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't watched that. I heard I really wanted it to be good, and I heard that it was not, and it didn't have any respect for the source material. So
You have to watch it. You have to watch it for how bad it is. Some
no,
people
I
enjoy.
don't like bad things.
Come on, man. What?
I can't enjoy bad things. It makes me sad.
Enjoying bad movies is an art form. It's like watching The Room.
You know what I find? I watch Red Letter Media, and I enjoy their joy, if that makes sense. But I can't actually watch bad. Dude, when I was a kid, I'm not saying this is bad, but like when I was a kid, I couldn't watch Xena Warrior Princess or shows like of that direct to syndication caliber. For some reason, it just like watching it made me feel sick, and it might have been like the frame rate, like of the camera or something. I don't know, but something about it just was off, and it made me feel sick. And I feel that way about a lot of like bad movies,
Like the soap opera effect.
Yep, like the soap opera effect.
Yeah, I don't know why those are filmed at such a high frame rate compared to everything else. Well, whatever, I guess.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, Xena Warrior is definitely one of those that I couldn't get into either.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it.
I've never watched it. I know where it is. I've seen like maybe an episode or two, but I've never like actually sat down to watch it.
I definitely has not aged well. I will say that. 100% will say that.
Yeah.
Have you been playing anything or doing anything, Gardner?
Oh man, yeah. So I've been playing original Xbox quite a bit. I had my friends over and we played 4-player Halo on Blood Gulch. Yeah. And that was fun.
Original Halo or Halo 2?
Original Halo.
Damn.
Yeah. And I also I was playing Halo 2 on Insignia, which I don't know if you guys have heard of Insignia.
Yeah, it's the replacement Xbox Live service for. I wonder if they'll make Insignia for the 360. That'd be kind of sick.
It would be cool. I have all of the online play that I've ever done was on the original Xbox. Like I don't play online games whatsoever today. Yeah, there was something magical about it back then, and I was a teenager, so I did. But yeah. And then also I've been like benchmarking this. I got to be careful. Can you see that?
Is that the thing? Is that the thing you alluded to that one up the off the camera?
Yes.
Earlier.
Yes, it is. Hold on. Can you see it?
I can see it. Yeah.
It's
what
dude,
GPU is that?
It's a RX 6600 XT. So it's not like awesome, but it's pretty good.
You know what I'd like to see?
Huh.
A 5090 in there, and if it melts the connector.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think a 5090 is compatible with this because this only has 2 PCI 6 pins.
Oh.
I think I don't know for sure, but I would guess that it's like it takes 3 6 pins, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have a 5090.
I think it takes 4.
4.
I think it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Yeah, it's like 2 of their custom or the like the larger pins. Yeah,
Jesus.
It's
a
ridiculous.
lot.
It's insane. I can't. That's unjustifiable.
Well, you know, I don't know, man. Nvidia's got to sell like 100 GPUs to like 100 suckers out in the world. So like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have the FOMO for it. Dude, the nice thing about this is like, well, I'm not going to spoil it because you guys got to watch my review. It's coming out on Monday. But man, this thing is so cool, and it doesn't work the way you expect it to work.
Huh?
I'll tell you that much.
Oh. All
so
right.
it works well. Okay.
All right. Well, check it out
Oh,
on
dude.
Monday.
Let me just this is the box or the sleeve for it. PCI 16.
PCI 16.
Yeah, like 16.
Like a full 16 like lane.
Yeah. I think technically it's actually 17 lanes. I'll just say that.
That's good. That's good. That'll be
good.
interesting. I'm wait.
We'll have to review his review on Monday.
Yeah.
We'll have to review his review on Monday.
Review.
Dude.
It's really cool. It's got like a what is it? It has an i9 13900 HK processor in it. So I mean, dude, I'm super stoked about this. This might become my like living room theater PC.
Ooh,
With the
I need to
GPU
make
attached to
one
it
of those this
too.
year.
Yeah,
Oh, I need one of those too.
it's pretty nice. It has dual 2.5 gigabit NICs in the back. It's sick.
You ever consider building an arcade box with it?
Actually, I think that would be a great application for this thing because like it doesn't have an enclosure for the GPU. So if you put it in like my biggest concern about having this sitting out in my living room is like it just gathers dust and it needs to be constantly cleaned and stuff. Or like having my friend's 4-year-old over and he just sticks his finger in the fan or whatever. So I think an arcade cabinet would be actually a great idea for this.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, they do sell. You could either, I don't know, buy like an old Pac-Man machine or whatever the fuck, or you could like they have kits where they cut out all of the wood and such for you already, and they also like stick the vinyl on for your stuff. You just have to assemble it with screwdrivers and such.
Mm.
Or
Yeah.
you'd like do it yourself. You know, you do have a 3D printer after all. I don't know how many parts you would have to 3D print.
Probably fewer than you would imagine. That thing is enormous. It has a huge build volume.
Oh,
Yeah, but I think I'd want an authentic like melamine build.
I gotcha.
I don't know. My uncle built me this desk, and I'd have him help me build an arcade cabinet if I did it. But anyway, let's move on to the stories of the week, shall we? I tend to go off the rails when it comes to what I'm doing this week. So
It's good stuff.
yeah. Before we get into it, though, I want to mention a few things. We have the Steam Next Fest live show coming up next week.
Oh yeah,
That's going to be pretty cool. We're probably going to have a link in the description. So if you guys want to check that out, you can get notified when that goes live. We're also going to ask you to subscribe to this channel if you're watching on YouTube, because it all helps. And we're trying to build an audience of people and have a community. And we appreciate that. Also, you can follow us as through an RSS feed on your favorite podcasting app. If you use something like Podcast Addict or whatever, you can follow us on podcast.subscribe2.me. You can engage with us through the Fediverse over there. And we're also on Spotify and Apple Music and all the other places you might get your podcast from. All right. Now that we've gone through the spiel, right? The first story this week. What is this? Microsoft Muse. It's a generative AI for gameplay ideation. I have to admit, I saw this and kind of laughed at it. High-Tech, you want to take it?
yeah. So this is an AI model designed for what they call gameplay ideation. So they've trained it on one of Ninja Theory's actual game releases, like 4 years ago. It released called Bleeding Edge, and essentially, I don't know why we can't maximize these. This is kind of bogus. It's so
You know
blurry. Whatever.
You know why they don't want you to zoom in on it?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different examples. So this is actual human gameplay. Like this is the actual game itself. You can see it looks like a game because you have players running to walls and stuff, and it doesn't like glitch out like an AI would. Now this is the team, whatever, I guess. This is like the gameplay. This is actual gameplay right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. Now this, they say here, generated by Muse with over 206 million parameters, conditioned on 1 second of actual gameplay and 9 seconds of action. Wait, what? 1 second of gameplay, 9 seconds of actions? What the hell is that supposed to mean? Can anyone proficient with AI tell me what that means?
1 second of real gameplay. I'm imagining that might be footage, and 9 seconds of action might be like the actions leading up to the footage, maybe.
So this is look, as you can see, he just kind of like I don't know what the fuck's happening here.
Yeah. It looks like those old AVI pirated videos you would download and
LimeWire.
LimeWire, and it would like break the MPEG encoding and then just spew
Yeah, that's
everything.
what it looks like.
Yeah, whatever, man. So it's consistency, diversity improves. Let's see, consistency. I don't really care about this. I just want to say that this is stupid. I think the actual story that we wanted to talk about though was Microsoft's unusual claim with AI, namely, for example, they want to do backwards compatibility. So let's see. Here's the exact quote. Today, countless classic games tied to ancient hardware are no longer playable by most people. Thanks to this breakthrough, we are exploring the potential for Muse to take back older, back catalog games from our studios and optimize them for any device. We believe this could radically change how we preserve and experience classic games in the future and make them accessible to more players. First and foremost, we already have something like that. Guess what it's called? Emulation. And emulation is pretty fucking good. And it's not backed by any major corporation for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, why? Why do we need this? Like, I just don't understand. Like, there's the fact that they're using like back compat to be an excuse for this, it's just kind of like, why? Like, what they want to push this stuff so hard, and I just don't understand why.
Well, what does backwards compatibility even mean for this case? Because from what we can see, Muse is just generating like gameplay ideas and stuff. Or are they just gonna AI generate gameplay of older games? Is that how it's gonna be? Like, if you want to play Halo 1, I just kind of have to imagine how an AI hallucinates Halo 1.
Yeah, just describe Halo 1 to ChatGPT and have it output a series of frames for you.
Dude, it's all like it's like all those. Have you seen those videos of AI generated Doom?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So, my deal with this whole AI game development thing, my whole problem with it is like kind of what Gardner asked. Why? What is the point? What is the customer going to get from this? I get it's fun. Like, I like it as a research thing. I don't want to see companies try to use this to make games ever, honestly. Because here's the thing. Game developers like their jobs. They like being creative. In a world that's going to be dominated by AI in the next few decades, they should be taking jobs that we don't want to do so that we can do creative jobs. That's, if you want to be idealistic about all this, they should be doing, we should be having them, do better job at picking crops of food, doing a lot of different things that we're either not as good at or just don't enjoy, so that we can focus on creativity or like just a lot of different things. Like, it should be helping us, not replacing the fun jobs. And that's the problem with this. Flat out is why. Is it going to be more creative? Not anytime soon. Is this, and my fear is like, I like seeing stuff like this because it's fun to see like a computer do something. But my fear is that why is a company that seeks profit, above all else, doing this? Is it to replace the game studios that they have or the workers at the game studios?
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you like the number of people it takes to employ to make games, like, it's so expensive. And that's why Microsoft wants this to be the future of the way they make games, is because it's like if they could cut out like a couple $1 billion from their, employees, they'd save a ton of money and make a bunch of money doing it too.
Hey, Microsoft, you should hire me. I am the world's most powerful idea guy. I can use AI to make games better than a committee of like hundreds of developers at once. Totally, man. Like, I don't know, man. There's something with Microsoft's like I get it. They invested in OpenAI, like a shit ton of money in OpenAI. But at the same time, though, like, that doesn't mean you have to like try to shove AI everywhere. Like, let's look at Microsoft Copilot. That's everywhere now. And hell, it's in Notepad. It's in fucking Notepad. You have to sign in to use Copilot in Notepad.
I didn't even know that it was a Notepad. That's crazy. I have not been using Windows a whole lot these days. I only use it for games, and that's about it. And so AI in Notepad. I didn't know that. I
I don't
like
know
that.
why it's a note. Like, yeah, I might understand if you put it in like Word because like you're making documents.
But they tried that in the 90s, and Clippy sucked. So I don't know why they're trying it again.
Well, hold up. We're still talking about Clippy. How bad could it be?
Dude, I don't know. I'm so skeptical of AI. I think that it is nothing more than Bitcoin 2.0. Like, I really don't see how this tech can evolve beyond a chatbot, or like, beyond like the smoke and mirrors of like, oh, we taught it how to do math too. And it's like, yeah, but that's probably just some program taking over from the chatbot. Like, I just don't see how it can evolve beyond where it's at more than maybe 2 or 3 years out.
Well, I think Bitcoin is useful. I think decentralized systems can be useful, but they're overplayed oftentimes, especially from companies that want to make a lot of money, which they do.
Yeah. I think like machine learning, I think, has some very valuable applications, right? Like folding at home. That's machine learning, and it's done at scale, and it's done using donated CPU time. That's great. And stuff like that in medical applications, in scientific applications, sifting through massive data sets. I think that machine learning makes a lot of sense. I don't see a lot of practical applications for LLMs. I just don't see it. I don't like, it's fun to play around with sometimes. I just don't get it.
Yeah, at least with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was kind of cool back in the day because it was kind of underground, it was decentralized, and you could use it for a lot of cool underground transactions, like stuff that you probably shouldn't do because it's highly illegal, like the Silk Road,
cool.
dark web. Like there are a lot of like there's a lot there's like it used to be an actual currency that you could like pay for goods and services with. Hell, remember when Valve used to support Bitcoin? Yeah. Obviously, they stopped because the prices of Bitcoin kept fluctuating, and as such, they just kept having to like either refund money or like demand or like ask for more money, and it just became a huge hassle.
Yeah, that's the problem with Bitcoin. It's become a little bit more stable in some form or fashion, but it's not a great currency for payments right now. It's more of I would put it behind like a gold standard in some ways, where you store it there for a while and it's there in case of emergency. I don't know. It's a whole thing with Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's like, for me, I'm not like poo-pooing Bitcoin. It is. I see AI, like the trendiness and like the frenzy around AI, to be on par with like the frenzy around blockchain, right? Like when companies that were listed publicly renamed themselves to have blockchain in the name of their company, just so that they could get investors. I mean, this AI frenzy is ridiculous, and I just don't see where LLMs are going to go. But I do see applications for machine learning.
I think you're going to change your mind when the next Halo game is made by AI, and it's going to be good. You'll be like, this is not good.
It's going to look like cel-shaded MPEG garbage.
No, it's going to be amazing, and you're going to be shocked. No. Who knows? But I will say, like, blockchain has its place. It was overblown. It's useful, but people don't understand why it's useful. Like, and that's the problem, is that there's so many people that kind of got into almost the charlatans, right? The business people that really don't understand the tech, that then try to use it to make money. And it's like blockchain, so like Bitcoin has its use as like a gold standard, you want to say, in the tech world. Then you got, and I've worked in this industry before. There's a reason I'm not in it anymore, but and then there's other blockchains that are very useful for processing data at a cost, like, is to help decentralize. They've not found the perfect balance in everything, but there's points to it. Where I see game AI, not like this type, I don't see a point to it. But AI, I am 100% behind AI to as a tool to help. So, and AI is not really technically AI, right? It's right. And they're trying to change the definitions on this, which is fine, whatever. It's just mostly LMs and machine learning stuff. So it's very useful. So like for game developers, it could be very useful as a tool to help them maybe fast track building texture or something like that. There's a lot of different things that they could do to help, but to replace people, especially like a lot of people, I think Microsoft is going to be in for a rude awakening if they're going to ever try that. And a lot of companies that are doing it right now, because there's a lot of companies doing it, Meta included, even though, we don't need to get into that, but because that's a whole can of worms. But I think they're going to regret it when they eventually don't have the people and the domain knowledge to keep on running their products. So I do think there's going to be, we're in the honeymoon period of AI, and I think there's going to be a period of regret. I don't think it's a bad thing to invest in, but it doesn't need to be injected in every aspect, including Notepad. It could be used for a lot of different things, especially very repetitive, reusable instances. I mean, heck, farming can be a great way to do it. There's AI projects, open source AI projects for running a garden that's really cool. But yeah, there's some, and it's been going on for years. Like, there's some really cool stuff that people will blast by because try to get the bag culture right now that's going on, and I'm just worried that it's going to bleed into the games where people are like, I'm a business person, I'm gonna make this YouTube channel, and you can make a game that will make you $1 million because look what I'm doing, and when they don't really do it, it's the whole sorry, just going down the whole.
Yeah, well, it's the tech bro grift again. That's what I'm skeptical of. Yeah. It's like Jensen Huang and his GPU charlatan crew. Like, I have no respect for it. And, like you're saying, James, there are practical applications. I hadn't heard about the gardening thing, but it makes total sense. Like, you can have, there are like open source projects for maintaining gardens, like with a traditional program. And if you could take that information and pipe it into a machine learning algorithm that can, help optimize your layout in your garden, I think that makes a lot of sense. But it is like, it's the tech bros that are coming in and like seeing this as a cash cow and a way that they can grift people, and it sours everyone on it. Honestly, to me, it's also it reminds me of how Nintendo shoehorned in the Wiimote waggle bullshit into all their games, and it ruined motion control for everyone for decades. I mean, still, like, there's a lot of like people who hear motion control and they say, oh, I hate motion control. When really, like, if you play the Steam Deck right now with the gyro aiming and stuff enabled, it is a transformative experience when you're playing games. But because Nintendo shoehorned waggle control bullshit into their games, it ruined it for a lot of people for a long time.
Nintendo.
I liked motion control. I liked it, but it didn't need to be in everything.
Right.
And it needed to be optimized, and that's the problem. Like, you shove it into everything and it's not optimized, you're gonna eventually, piss off potentially your customers and stuff like that. There's a time and place and evolution of technologies that need to occur.
Yeah. Mario Galaxy has great motion control, I think, right? But then you have like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, where in order to like do the stupid like twirl effect in the air, you have to shake your controller like that. It's so silly, and it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, I think gyro. I think people like are dismissing gyro because it's kind of like the same class of controls. It's a motion control, so to speak, and people just kind of dismiss it because, because of Nintendo, or the bad reputation motion controls ended up having too. I don't know, man. AI is just kind of like, it'll probably take a couple of years to discover an actual good use. I feel like if OpenAI just kind of like kept this under the hood for a little bit, kept doing research, kept things behind closed doors for a little longer, and then unveiled a couple of great uses for AI, I think it wouldn't be received so badly. Though, albeit, I think the artists are always going to be kind of against it, given the nature of generative AI.
Yeah.
And
I actually got an email from Affinity the other day. Do you guys know Affinity?
You'll have to remind me who they are again.
They make like Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer. They're like a big,
right.
They're a big competitor to Photoshop, Adobe. And a couple of months ago, they were like, "We'll never have machine learning stuff in our products." And I got an email from them yesterday saying, "Hey, we're rolling out machine learning stuff in our products." I don't know. I don't get it.
It's hard. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just it's got to be done.
It has to be done right.
It has to be done right, and it can't be
done
forced
ethically, and that's a big problem because you guys. Hey, I don't think this is on this list. Did we talk about Facebook torrenting a bunch of books?
We have not.
We have not. We did talk about Facebook's like fake AI profiles. I remember that. Remember where they pretend like they made a profile that was like a black queer mom or something like that, and like, no, you're none of those things. You're not even human. You're an AI. Right. That's a human experience.
Yeah. I don't know. We don't need to go into that, but we can move on to the Microsoft's new State of Matter thing. But I don't know. High Tech, what's this about?
Microsoft claims to have created a new state of matter that's neither solid, liquid, gas, or plasma. They call it the topological qubit, and all of this is to fuel a quantum computer. Now, I don't know about you, man. I don't know that much about quantum computing. I've never seen one in person before, to be honest, and I'm not entirely sure what sort of work they do besides quantum computing, I guess you could say. But a new state of matter sounds kind of insane because there are three primary states of matter that everyone knows, and there's plasma, of course. But even then, like, what could it really be? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from my understanding, the peer-reviewed journal that they published this in, there's been a little bit of backlash about it because Microsoft hasn't actually proved that they've created a new state of matter. They're just claiming they have. They haven't published how they're doing it, so other people can't check it. That's my understanding anyway. And I don't know, dude. I don't trust anything Microsoft says as far as I can throw it.
Well, dude, it's a proprietary state of matter, man. If Microsoft, you can't do it because Microsoft's afraid you're gonna infringe on their trademark state of matter or some bullshit like that.
Right. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, I would think this would be discovered, not created, right? But they can't claim a patent on it if they discovered it.
That I hate patents so much sometimes. There's the likelihood of them creating matter, like a new form of matter, is probably pretty rare, especially at this point in time. But discovering for sure, and I think they're gonna have a hard time with this, and I think they're just trying to lay claim to quantum computing because quantum computing is, along with fusion reactors and some other stuff, they're all on the verge, and it's just taken a very long time of breaking into. I don't know if I'd say mainstream because quantum computing wouldn't necessarily be used for something like games, at least at this point. And quantum computing, like programming, it's very, very different. It's very early on. It is very good. Like a couple of things that quantum computing is good at is like cryptography. Like once you have a decent running quantum computer, like no password is safe up to, let's just say, you're gonna have to have quantum base like
quantum encryption.
Like yeah, and so it's gonna be interesting, and there's no way that you're gonna see a quantum computer in like someone's house anytime soon. So services like Microsoft might want to be like, well, we can make you a password or encrypted password now. That's you can still use your old password, but it's going to be encrypted on the server with our new server system. You know, there's I have a feeling that's what they're playing.
Yeah.
And so
just take quantum for everything. Yeah. There we have it. Quantum AI.
Yeah, well, it's useful that most people don't know what quantum means. like you know what I'm saying? Like,
is it quantifiable?
Yeah, I don't know. My understanding is like, it's good at like anything that has to do with probability. Like quantum is good at solving. Like you've probably heard like, you can't brute force this password in 100 billion years with a traditional computer because it's so encrypted. But like With a quantum computer, you could brute force the password like that in a flash, because what it's capable of is like a qubit can exist in any state between 0 and 1, and because of that, you can have all of the states. Like if you have a massively paralleled qubit array or something, you can actually have them all exist in a superposition, and then when they find the solution, they all just collapse down into the solution. That's my understanding. And then you have the resulting whatever result you're looking for, if it's cracking a password or whatever. I'm not an expert on it though, so
no, you're right on with that. Like, I think that's a good simplified version.
Yeah, that is
about as far as I know too. So,
Yeah.
But I would imagine Microsoft's actual motivation for inventing a new state of matter for a quantum supercomputer is for AI. That's what I think is really going to happen here.
yeah.
They're going to make some sort of LLM that's optimized for their new state of matter CPU or whatever the fuck. Honestly, man, I don't know that much about quantum computing because none of it really matters if it's not in my house or if it's not usable for like a service that we can actually access. It's all for like scientific research anyways. So yeah, I just thought it was pretty cool to talk about.
I mean, it is cool, and tech-wise, like, this is going to be a big deal. And I think you're right on. I think AI will also be a big part of this because I think it would actually benefit from the probability aspect. But it'll be interesting to see where it goes and how Microsoft's going to use it. Like I said, Gardner, you're going to be enjoying Halo, the next Halo AI created with this quantum state matter specifically too.
Quantum Halo.
Enjoying is a strong word, my friend.
Quantum Halo AI.
Halo Infinite, Quantum Edition.
There you go. It's going to be the best thing you ever played, and you're going to hate your life because of it.
Dude, the next tech bro grift is going to be quantum computing, bro. It's going to be instead of like AMD is going to calls theirs Ryzen AI Plus right now. They're going to call it the Quantum Ryzen AI Plus.
Yeah.
Oh.
See. Oh, go ahead.
We've had a hard time changing from like x86 to x64. Like we've had a hard time just switching that level of instructions and all that. This is a whole different paradigm. Like quantum computing is like, don't expect this type of stuff. Like if it ever became mainstream to just work right off the bat on with any other software we have. So I think it's
proton.
Really, yeah, I think it's really hard to say that this is going to be compatible with anything anytime soon, or have anything that's going to be consumer facing for anytime soon.
Yeah. To be fair, quantum computing will never replace traditional computing, as far as I understand it. It's more like an ASIC, right? It's more like an application specific integrated circuit. Like you're going to have a quantum module in your smartphone, in your desktop, when it becomes a thing, and it's going to be dedicated for one specific thing, right? Like the high probability, high entropy stuff. You know what I'm more interested in though is, and this isn't on the list because this is kind of an old thing, but like, have you heard of superconducting FETs?
I can't say I have.
It sounds familiar.
They're hold on. Superconducting field effect transistors. They're basically zero energy transistors. These are transistors that don't create heat, and they use essentially zero energy. It's like 100 femtoamperes. Very, very tiny amount of energy is actually being used. And because of that, you can stack them vertically and horizontally because they don't produce heat, and therefore they're scalable in 3 dimensions. I'm more excited about that in terms of like where computing's going next.
There's a lot of compounding things, and we have hit certain limitations, right, in our computing. So like, there's a lot of promising things that will probably compound in the next few decades. I'm curious to see how it goes too, because as long as, they're not trying to, NVIDIA doesn't get a hold of the tech and, their patent is like, okay, we're going to release The actual real bump up in 10 years from now, once we get through our other lists of sequential upgrades that are not really, revolutionary, so we can keep on making the money. Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited though.
That does sound interesting.
Worried.
That does sound interesting, Gardner. So you're saying these transistors use nearly 100% efficient, are nearly 100% efficient?
Yeah. So what happens is the entropy of like it's the entropy of converting like data between a 0 and 1 state where it's irreversible, right? So like when you put data in, you can't necessarily start with the output and work backwards, right?
Right.
And it's that entropy that you're introducing into the universe. It's actually creating heat.
Right.
And so what these superconducting FETs are doing is it's reversible computation. And so because you're not introducing entropy, it actually, these transistors are not creating heat that way. So you can take the output and reverse back to the input. And so it's that's my understanding of it. I've watched a couple of videos, I've read a few articles, and it seems very interesting to me. And yeah, they basically produce zero heat.
Yeah. No, that's from what I've read. That's about right. It's very minimalistic.
That does sound interesting. Yeah, for sure.
They're a lot slower than regular transistors, but you can scale them in 3 dimensions and not have to worry about extracting heat and cooling things. They'll be essentially on par with traditional transistors.
Yeah. Interesting. So yes,
it's very promising.
Speaking
of scaling up things.
Oh yeah. Steam and Amazon. What is this about? We never violated our core assumptions before investing heavily into solutions.
So that is a quote from an Amazon exec. So essentially the story is that many, many years ago, Amazon tried to take on Steam. They had a codename Vapor or some shit like that. They essentially tried to make a game store like Steam. But here, former Amazon executive Ethan Evans took to LinkedIn to recall the company's attempts to disrupt Steam. So here's what they said. They said, at Amazon, we assumed that size and visibility would be enough to attract customers, but we underestimated the power of existing user habits. We never validated our core assumptions before investing heavily into solutions. The truth is that gamers already had the solution to their problems, and they weren't willing to switch platforms just because a new one was available. So the idea was that Amazon just wanted to make things bigger, or I don't know, I wouldn't say better necessarily, but they certainly wanted to make things bigger and more ambitious than Steam in the hopes of attracting people. But I mean, the problem is that Steam's already existed. People have their Steam libraries already, and like at this point, I don't feel like changing launchers. Hell, I don't feel like changing launchers to Epic either, to be honest. I don't think I would ever full-time switch to Epic Games unless like Valve did something drastic, which I mean, as of right now, I don't see that happening.
And I don't put anything. I feel like today, in today's world, anything's possible. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, like at this point, I don't think Epic would be more compromising.
Yeah, well, I don't think Valve would do anything with current management. Now, there's no telling what'll happen after Gaben retires. But I sure hope that whoever Gaben grooms... Oh, wait, I can't use that word anymore. Shit. I can't use... Wow, that is...
wow, you're talking about him being a groomer, huh? Wow, this is news.
I gotta let me rephrase that. Whoever Gaben selects to be his successor in Valve, I would hope that Gabe instills those values onto him, or at the very least points out the fact that they've been printing money and there are no stupid investors or like advertisers that they have to appeal to anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, they don't even like really when's the last time you've really seen an ad for Steam, like just Steam by itself?
They don't really have to.
Yeah, no. They don't have to.
Valve doesn't do ads much.
Yeah, and Valve still prints money. Like you would think a company like Coca-Cola is like ubiquitous. Like you wouldn't need advertising for a Coke, right? but like they still advertise their basic Coke products every now and
Well, it's
then
because
for whatever reason.
yeah, because if you go to like a theater and you're like, well, I'm not thirsty now, but then you see the ad and you're like, oh, I'm thirsty, I might go get a Coke now. Like that's gonna be just trying to get you to drink Coke as often as possible. If you're gonna play a game like on the PC, you don't really need to think twice. You're going to Steam. This is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right about that. It's crazy to think that Amazon would, try to do this. Oh, it's not that crazy. Everyone wants a piece of Steam's pie. And honestly, that's probably why we don't see Steam keys from Amazon Prime. Like, do you guys have Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
So you guys know how
I
you can
have,
get free
my
game
friend
keys
did.
from Amazon?
Yeah.
Free, a lot of free GOG keys, I might add, too. I think that's a pretty
yeah.
good value. But
Yeah,
then
I agree with that.
But then Epic Games, and then sometimes you get games from Amazon themselves. But you never see any Steam keys from Amazon. Now, I am curious as to why that is. That's probably because they hate Valve. And I mean, who would?
It's their direct competitor.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
who wouldn't hate Valve at this point? Valve makes all the money. They also have all the loyal followers, and they have a lot of diehard fans that would basically never switch off of Steam unless they died.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's pretty. It's shockingly self-aware that this quote, where it's like, we never validated our core assumptions before investing heavily in solutions. Like, if that's not the epitome of C-level executive, then I don't know what is, right? Like, that's just like, that's the decision making. That's how decision making happens at corporations. That's how I've always seen it. Like, they don't think about things. Like, they are so far disconnected from everyday people that they make these decisions. Like, oh, and then everybody's like circle jerking about, oh, we made this awesome thing. Why is it not working? What's wrong? Pour more money on it. It's fine.
Oh, let's fire that division.
Yeah,
we
man.
can't, and let's give
ourselves a raise. We had the perfect idea. We blame the engineers.
Hey, Amazon, hire me as VP of Amazon Prime Gaming. I can make boneheaded decisions without thinking it through, and then I can also fire entire divisions just to make everyone's pay. I can do that too. Hire me, Amazon. Make me filthy fucking rich.
It's a club, and it's very nepotistic club. It's like with Meta. Meta laid off, 10-20% of their work, their engineers.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the C-level execs they usually get a 75% bonus. They're getting a 200% bonus this year. And so it's just...
Dude.
It's like literally evil. Like,
it really is evil.
Totally evil.
Dude,
Like,
it's not evil. It's them doing their job. This is their job. Their job is to hire and fire people at will. I think they're doing great.
I
They
know.
deserve a 500% pay bonus.
It just makes me more and more like I was like a year ago, I was like, I want things that will be as easy as possible. So like an Apple. And so I'm still sticking kind of with Apple, but I'm also getting more and more into like Gardner's world. I'm like, I better just start doing my own stuff. Like I'm kind of just done. I've been done with Facebook for a while, but this last year has just made me like detest Meta.
Yep.
I just detest them in a lot of ways, and so it's pushing me more and more to eventually I will be fully set up on the Fediverse on like as like an Instagram replacement, but I just got to get my wife over to it.
Yeah.
She keeps sending me stuff.
Yeah, I
setting up-
understand.
I'm setting up a Pixel Fed and a Mastodon instance for mainers.
There
I'm
you
pretty
go.
excited for it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Honestly,
it's
man.
called
Yeah.
Vacationland.social and vacationland.pix. They'll be available
Ooh.
shortly when I get them set up.
Dude,
Oh, that's awesome.
honestly,
Yeah.
the only reason why I even have a Facebook anymore is because my parents would be like, "Well, why you did? Where are you? Did you delete your Facebook?" And they would certainly do that for sure. And B,
That's funny.
Facebook Marketplace. It's super useful, I will admit.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I had an idea for Facebook Marketplace before Facebook Marketplace. I was like, what if you could tie your selling profile, like an eBay profile, but you could tie it to your Facebook or your social media profile. I think that'd be sweet. It would be really good. It would be a way to build reputation.
Dude, even if you did
Well,
act on it, Facebook would just steal it.
Oh yeah, of course. Like they stole those books, but we're
And
not gonna talk
also,
about
and I'm sure they stole Facebook Marketplace from somewhere. Because I remember there used to be a lot of
Craigslist.
other, yeah, there was Craigslist, there was a OfferUp. There were a couple of different platforms, I think.
When it comes to like their UX, I hate Facebook's
Oh,
UX.
I
I hate it
stand
I can't stand getting on there. The only reason I still have Facebook and I don't post on it, I don't do anything on it really, is because like friends, family, people that I don't really know any other way. If I deleted my Facebook completely, I would lose contact with them 100%. I got to figure out a way to, because that's honestly not sustainable. That's a really bad way to run your life. If you're losing like half your connections in your life, or ways to connect to or contact people because of one service, that's probably toxic. So
There are a few businesses around here that don't have websites. They don't have landline phones. They have Facebook. And the only way to like schedule an appointment is to use Facebook Messenger. I'm like, dude, I'll never patronize your business. I'm sorry, dude.
Talk about
I'm not
losing.
gonna do
I
that.
hate Messenger so much.
Oh, it's
Dude,
so
Messenger
bad.
sucks.
And like, dude, I have one friend. I have a Facebook profile because I have to manage like some business profiles for some companies of mine, some clients of mine. And I have one friend who still uses Facebook Messenger. And it's like, have you tried using Facebook Messenger through the web recently?
I haven't.
Dude, I don't have the app on my phone. I won't install it.
Yeah, same.
But if you go in and try to use the web version, like no matter what, because I'm on Linux, I think on Windows it wasn't doing this, but when I log in through Brave on Linux, it always asks me to retype my PIN to like do like end-to-end encryption, and then when I do that, it won't load the encrypted messages until I like log out, log back in, and then type in my PIN again. It's like, what is happening right now? Like everything seems broken on Facebook.
I
It's
don't
part
know.
of AI.
Facebook was built on a pipe dream, but by a guy that dropped out of college. So, but did he drop out of college? Or did he
Pipe dream-
graduate? I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't remember, but it was, let's just say Facebook didn't start ethically either, really.
No.
Yeah, I think they stole the
So-
idea from like. You guys seen the social media? I don't know how accurate it is, but like
The Social Network.
the social network. Yeah, sorry.
It was pretty okay. I dug it.
Yeah, you know what they
It's
should.
good.
You know what they should do though. I've heard they're thinking about making a sequel to that movie, The Social Network 2. Man, that would be so crazy given how much like Facebook and Meta has changed altogether. And then Mark
They could easily do
Zuckerberg's
it.
and then Mark Zuckerberg's obsession with AI and the metaverse. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, they should call it the Anti-Social Network. And that would be good.
Down for it.
Anti-social
It'd be
network.
interesting.
Anti-social network come to theaters this summer.
Hmm,
Watch it in IMAX.
right. It would document basically. It should document the death of Meta, right?
Yeah. Well,
Like that, it'd be cool if it came out around the same time that Meta officially dies, which I feel is impending. And speaking of death, the death of the AA market for games. Former president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, is it Shuhei Yoshida?
yeah. Yeah, right.
Spoke about the death of Sony's former Japan studio. What he chiefly attributes the death of the studio to evaporating AA market, where AAA games got bigger and bigger, and indies came in to fill the void. Are AA games truly dead? Is the middle class of gaming dead? That's a hell of a way to pose that. What do you think, High Tech?
So, much like the economy itself, the middle class of gaming is dying. And so for those who don't know, the gaming industry you used to not be so like worked up on the AAA games, like developers like what's a good one? Oh yeah, Capcom. Capcom's a good example. They used to make a lot. They made Resident Evil games. I would consider those AAA, even though the classification I would consider those like AAA. But they also made a bunch of like other experimental AA games, like Okami, which is getting a sequel actually pretty soon. And then they also made bunch of like lower budget games as well. They also made like the Mega Man Zero. They used to make portable games. Like you guys remember like back in the old days of portable gaming, like they had to make bespoke versions of games or just whole new games just for those platforms because like nowadays, everyone just releases the same version of the same game but like with slightly worse graphics on like the Switch, right? But like back in the day, like it would be a totally different game on the Game Boy Advance. Like you are getting it, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like I think I'm inclined to believe that because that portable market sort of like doesn't exist anymore, that AA gaming has just died in general. So and because of that, AAA games have been getting bigger and bigger, and indie games have become more and more plentiful to fill in the void.
Mm.
That said, I do believe there are still plenty of AA games that aren't indie games for sure, but don't really fill in the don't really qualify as a AAA game, like the Disgaea games. You guys ever play that? You guys ever play Disgaea?
Yeah. The Disgaea games.
So I'm guessing Gardner hasn't played it. God, it's a lesson time. So Disgaea is a strategy RPG, kind of like Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy Tactics almost. And for the most part, it's pretty well balanced up until like the end of the main campaign, and then it goes insane balls to the wall. There's balls. It is grindy, I will say, but there are multiple ways to optimize whatever you're grinding for. The maximum level being level 9,999 when you beat the game at like around level 100. And there's a lot of different avenues of power, and here's a fun part. Here's a fun mechanic. So in order to sometimes you can get new features or new like or characters to create. You have to go through what is typically the Dark Assembly, which is like basically Congress. And some of them will vote yes, some of them no. It really depends on whatever bill you're trying to pass. You can bribe them with items that you find, or if the bill fails to pass, you can just fight them, and it's inadvisable. I don't know. I'm just going off on a tangent at this point. You should check it out though.
It's an interesting series for sure.
It is.
But expect to put a lot of time into it.
It's super Japanese, I'll say.
And so is that classified as a AAA then, or I mean a AA?
I would say so, yes, because it's certainly not AAA.
It's always the like, where do I place these games, and how do you categorize indie, AA, AAA, quadruple? And it's always the people have their different definitions for this type of stuff, but
yeah, what measure is indie, etc.
See, when I think of like double versus AAA, my mind goes back to like the PlayStation era, when like the original PlayStation, when you would have like Crash Team Racing,
right? And
that was AA to me, and then AAA would be like the Crash series, or Mario 64 would be AAA, and then Mario Party would be AA, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where my head's at. Like the spin-off series that they don't put all the big budget into, and they give it to like an outside studio or like a second party developer. That's kind of where my head's at with what a double versus triple is.
I mean, I think the definition can also get a little muddled too, because let's think about Pokemon. Like we can all agree Pokemon is a AAA franchise, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Game Freak themselves are A, not owned by Nintendo. They're an independent studio. They are, well, I guess in certain classifications you can consider them to be an indie studio, so to speak. And sometimes they release games on Steam. You guys know this? Game Freak sometimes releases games on Steam.
I didn't
What
know that.
games?
There's like a puzzle, like platformer, like action game called Giga Wrecker, and that's on Steam.
Okay.
And then what else? There was another game on Steam. It's kind of rare that they make it. It's not that they do make games that aren't Pokemon sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, but like the big question, but like that's an interesting one because they have access. They also partially own one of the biggest franchises in the probably the biggest franchise in the world right now, Pokemon. But then they also like are an indie, like an indie. I guess they could categorically be considered an indie developer. I don't know. It's weird. There's no real definition. There's no real good definition because I mean, who develops Hades? Is it Supermassive or Supergiant or God? There's so many names.
Supergiant does Hades and
Yeah, Supergiant. Like they're still considered an indie studio, but like they're big and popular enough to where they like they tried to put in a ton of money into Hades like too. And it makes me wonder if maybe they are even still really indie, so to speak.
I mean, I think the studio would qualify as indie because they're not owned by like a big publisher or something. But I would say that the games that Supergiant makes are double A. Like that's kind of where modern double A lives in my mind.
Yeah.
Like they still have like an independent spirit. They still are nimble enough and have small enough budgets where they can take risks in their game design, you know?
Yeah, but by that definition, Game Freak is an indie studio too. They just happen to have access to like the biggest franchise in the world. And they also partly own it too.
Yeah, I think there has to be some kind of financial constraint on what you classify as indie as well. Because it's not like the Pokemon Company and Nintendo aren't financing the development of Pokemon games, right? Like they are. So like an independent studio has to also invest their own money into the games that they're developing. I think that that's kind of a critical component of it.
That is fair. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a crazy world out there. God, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that debate with Geoff Keighley and whether or not Dave the Diver should be classified as an indie game. Remember that? Remember that? I think that was before. Was that the last Game Awards, or was that the one before that?
I think it was the one before because Dave the Diver's been out for a little while.
Yeah. So Dave the Diver was nominated for Best Indie Game. Naturally, he didn't win because Sea of Stars won. But Dave the Diver was classified as such, despite the fact that it was not an indie studio. It was like it's a subsidiary of Nexon, and Nexon is a big company. They make games like Maple Story, and Maple Story is still pretty big today. So they're by no means an indie studio. I don't know, man. The definition, we need concrete definitions for classifications.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, let's look at GTA 6. Like GTA 6 is classified as a AAA game, but they spend way more money. They probably spend way more money on like the budget than anything else that's existed in like forever, right? Like we can all agree that it's going to be like one of the most expensive games to be made, right?
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
It's going to be the most expensive to be made in probably a long time.
Yeah, like, should we not have a separate quadruple A category for that?
I would say no, but only because of principle. Like, that's just marketing jargon to me now. Like, you know, because who was it that we covered a couple weeks ago that was like, it's the first quadruple A game? Ubisoft. Yeah, I mean, it's silly to me to call it quadruple, but no, I mean, I take your point though, High Tech. I think like, you know, there should be like echelons of that titles get ranked into and that developers get ranked into. and there should be like clear definitions for those things. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, without that, I mean, what really is a double A game, but a triple A game, but with less of a budget, right?
Right. We need, yeah, like there should be some like actual, is it taxonomy for game development? Like, I think that would be useful.
We should,
'Cause
we should,
there's kind of, we should.
yeah, we should do that. We
You know
should make, we should be the standard. We should make our scale and then make it official.
Yep, I agree. Let's make a website about it.
Dude, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's
I'm
do it.
not
We'll
kidding.
brainstorm this off screen and we'll talk about this later when it's ready to
All right.
unveil, probably.
I'm game.
So, do you agree with Sony, though, the former head of Sony Entertainment, Shuhei Yoshida?
That the AA market is dead.
Yes.
I don't think so, because like I think that there is the possibility that a double A game can be produced by like an indie studio. Like I don't think that there's a lot of what's the word? There's not a lot of like massive publishers that are investing in double A games, but like you said earlier, High Tech, the indie market has been coming in to fill that double A space.
Especially as they succeed and get bigger, they'll eventually create publishers that then do the double A. And I think we've, especially with is it Devolver?
Devolver.
Devolver, that's what it is. Oh, they're just the way that they've kind of crashed over the past few years. They do a lot of crash, like meaning they got rid of a bunch of devs, or at least games, right? Supporting games. And so, and I'd consider them more of a double A because they do a lot of indie level but funded games that are double A. This is my
Yeah, that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
Enter the Gungeon is considered indie, but like at the same time though, it's published by Devolver and kind of defeats the purpose of being an indie developer, right? Especially if you have a publisher, right?
It adds safety. So there is a point to have a publisher. If you're trying to make this a job and you don't want to put a lot of, like Gardner, like even myself, like I would not put my faith in my skills right now to release a game that would be able to support me and my family for a while.
Right.
And so unless I had funding, but then even if the game fails, at least I got paid up to that point.
Yeah.
So there's a point to publishers. I think people sometimes.
Oh, I'm
forget
not.
about this.
I'm
Like,
not saying they shouldn't take it. I mean, that's a
or
great
investors. Yeah.
Thing.
So
That's a great. Yeah.
And that's the greatness of double A, is that there's a lot of good games that we are missing out on because of this perception of the double A industry is dying.
Yeah.
Where triple A, I would say, is more dying than double A.
I would agree. Yeah. I think the big differentiator between what's an indie game and what's a double A game is there a publisher involved? If there's a publisher involved, then it's a double A game probably. Yeah. If there isn't, then it's an indie game. Like Braid. Was there a publisher for Braid when it first came out?
No, I believe it was self-published.
Yeah.
Like that was like back when that was back like before the indie label publisher came out, like before like Devolver or like Critical Reflex and some of the others that have come out as recent.
Yeah. To me, it's like, if it's Adult Swim Games or Humble had their publishing arm for a while, or Devolver, there's a bunch of like, or Big Mode from what's his name?
Donkey, the video game Donkey.
Like those are all double A publishers to me. Like those would be who I would go to pitch an idea and to get funding for a game. And then if I did that, it wouldn't be an indie game, it would be a double A game.
Hey Gardner, speaking of which, if a big AAA company like, let's say Sega, came to you and wanted to make a sequel to Doodlings but was AAA, would you?
Triple A, no. Double A, yeah.
Double A. I get it plays the same but has better graphics and like a bunch of Sonic cameos.
Dude, I've thought about like what a next step for Doodlings would be, and I actually think it's a pretty cool idea. So if Sony or or not Sony, but Sega or any AA publishers wants to do it, I'm game. I'll take your money and make it.
Yeah,
cool,
I think
fun
that's the great
game.
thing about Sega too. Sega is like reinvesting into the like Capcom is too for a little bit. Like they made Kunitsugami. They didn't sell nearly as well as like their like big AAA games, but I mean, they still like took the risk. They made a totally new IP that plays like nothing else that they've made so far. And Sega's reinvesting back into the AA market too. They made like Streets of Rage 4. They're making the new Shinobi game. And even Tecmo Koei is making the 2D Ninja Gaiden game, Rage Band, with the guys behind Blasphemous. And honestly, I think there is starting to see a return to form for like older franchises. And speaking of Ninja Gaiden too, Ninja Gaiden, we can agree it's a AAA franchise, right?
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah.
I would say so. At least the mainline games. Yeah, but like we could also agree that it probably doesn't have nearly as high of a budget as like some of the other AAA games out there, like Resident Evil. Certainly not, right?
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, that's why I was thinking. Yeah, that's why I'm going back to like there needs to be like specific like defined categories of like AAA budgets, like what qualifies, and I think budget's a good one for certain. I don't know, man. And there's a lot. I think AA games are starting to see a resurgence, despite the fact that Sony killed off their Japan studio. I think that was a big mistake, and I think many of those guys went on to make Asobi Games, who made James' favorite game right now, Astrobot. A lot of those guys went on to make Astrobot.
Yeah, I mean, I think this all, like, the killing off of, like, the AA studios really goes back to what the Amazon executive said. We never validated our core assumptions before, making decisions. Like, that's kind of where the AAA studios are at right now. That is
such a apt and good quote. We should, like, frame it somewhere.
Yeah. That should be, we should start each episode with that quote.
It's funny because, and I wanted to say this back on that topic, that's how Amazon works.
Yeah. Even
to this day, they might say that and have some awareness, but they still act in a different way than that assumption.
Well,
so
to be fair,
that guy was thrown out the window.
Oh yeah, he's former VP of Amazon Prime Gaming.
That's what I'm saying. He was thrown out the window.
And so, deep reflection after you've come off the high of whatever drugs you were on as a CEO exec.
That's exactly. That's how Amazon works. Is that they reinvest to take over markets.
Yeah.
To be fair, you do have to be kind of coked up to run a company like Amazon.
Oh yeah, I would imagine. Speaking of coked up, all the people who won't leave Windows 7 behind. That's not a great transition, but we'll go with it.
I actually agree with that.
Dude.
Dude, you have to be kind of crazy to keep running Windows 7 connected to a network, though. Like, for real.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree too.
Just move on to Linux.
Yeah, for real. Let's switch over to Linux, guys.
Yeah, for real. We'll switch to Linux. Or if you have to use Windows, use like a version of Windows that has security updates. I think security is the big like factor here. Use anything but Windows 7.
Or use a version of Windows that nobody's targeting with viruses, like 98.
Dude, they don't have to target Windows 98. All the viruses are still there from like the 90s.
Have you seen that Matt KC video where he tried to get infected with a virus on Windows 98 and he couldn't?
What?
Yeah,
I have a disk of viruses that would probably work.
Oh, do you really? Okay.
It's an old one from Russia.
Nice.
I know that's really weird.
Well, why do you have a disk of viruses from Russia? Who sent it to you? The KGB?
Let's just say that I have enemies. No. When I was in Russia, because I think I mentioned this a few times, but like I lived in Russia for a few years, and when I was there, you could go into their software stores which had I don't think honestly, okay, funny enough, in the 2000s they had pirated, like if you wanted to get a game, there's only one way to get it, like pirated.
Yeah.
Store. So there's tons of games in there, tons of movies, everything that has like pseudo covers that aren't official, but like try to be as official as possible. Then they went away from that, and then I'm sure that's where they're back to again because they even have copy McDonald's, but like when they took over the McDonald's. But that's besides the point.
Yeah,
I went into one of those, and they had a disc full of like it was like 2,000-3,000 viruses. I'm like, I have to buy this, even if I don't put it in anything. I have to buy this, and I was planning on putting it into like a computer with a VM connected, so it'd be deconnected from everything else and just see what happened to the VM. I just never took the risk.
You know what you should do though?
It's sitting there somewhere.
You know what you should do though? You should connect a CD drive to your Steam Deck and then put it onto your Steam Deck. That'd be content.
What would the content be? I'm gonna copy this. Okay, yeah.
You're gonna infect your Steam Deck with a shitload of viruses from Russia, and you have to put that in the title. Infecting my Steam Deck with mysterious malware disk from Russia.
It's probably not going to do anything.
Come on, dude.
No, the content, the angle is how truly compatible is Proton with Windows applications? Because I mean, if they can run Windows viruses, then that's pretty compatible, my guy.
Dude,
you have to unlock some old KGB Soviet Union virus on it or something.
Dude, you have to do it, man. It sounds like it's going to be, dude. It's about virality with viruses. No pun intended.
I have a very funny story about this actually. When maybe back in 2012 or something, I installed Ubuntu on my dad's computer. He had a laptop, right? And he didn't know anything about computers. He's a complete Luddite. And then he called me up. He's like, Gardner, I need you to come fix my computer. I don't know what's going on with it. And I got there, and my dad had installed Wine on his computer, and he had installed some Chinese like flirt with you lady application. What? Yeah, like it was like a chat with Asian women, like and app on his computer, and it was Windows only. So someone told him how to do this and put Wine on his computer, run this application, and then he got a Windows virus in Wine, and I was like, I don't think this is even possible. I don't believe what I'm looking at right now, and I just like nuked and paved his whole computer because I was like. And then I said, you cannot install Chinese applications on your computer, Dad. Like, you're going to keep getting viruses.
He's like, I still need to talk to them virtual women.
Yeah.
Dude, to be honest, man, yeah. That's why I don't bother installing Linux for anyone else in my life, because I don't want to be their IT monkey.
Yeah, it's true.
Just give them Mac OS and then just call it a day.
I say it to my friends and family now. I'm like, I'll give you the friends and family discount. It's an additional 50%. Yeah. Like, because my friends and family are like, oh, you charge, $70 an hour or whatever for your work. And I'm like, yeah, but for you, it'll be 120, like I do not want to do this for you guys because you always call me to do it.
That, and you don't want to find out what your friends are into or anything.
Your dad
ruins relationships.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we haven't actually even talked about the actual topic at hand. So this here is VxKex NEXT. So for those who don't know, it's a set of API extensions for Windows 7 that allows support for some Windows 8, 8.1, and 10 exclusive applications to run 7. So as you know, there are plenty of programs nowadays that do not support Windows 7, like most notably Steam. If you're a PC gamer, you cannot be on Windows 7, period. Mm. But with this, you can run Steam on Windows 7. Now, I don't know why on earth you would want to use this over just switching to Windows 10. I mean, like, fuck, Microsoft gives you a free copy of Windows 10. But even then, you can just switch to Linux instead, too. Linux is actually free and open source, and you can just install, like Bazite, Bazite has a desktop version you can install. It doesn't have to be like SteamOS. You can install a desktop version of Bazite, and it would still be quite usable.
I have the desktop version of Bazite on my mini PC here. It's great.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. I will say though that now that we've explained what this actually is, I can see some value in this. Being able to if you have like a dedicated Windows 7 gaming PC box, like it's just for playing Windows 7 games, and you know, wanting to be able to access your Steam library makes a lot of sense, especially with like some of the older games that are in some Steam libraries that people have now. Like I can see this being useful, but I don't know if I would do it myself. At least not yet.
The thing
Maybe
though
in-
is that Steam mostly requires the internet, and I wouldn't trust a Windows 7 PC on my network anymore at this
Yeah.
point.
we'll put it on a VLAN or something.
Yeah, but that also requires setting up a VLAN, but it also requires getting a Windows 7 PC to even do this with.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It won't matter. Once I send you that compromised Steam Deck to your house, you'll be fine.
Dude. But I mean, it is cool technology. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It is open source too, so I am curious to see if any of this could be ported over to Proton or Wine, or even if anything from this can make it over to Wine. I am curious.
I mean, this seems like Kernel X, right? Like, which is is it called Kernel X? The
With kernel extensions.
no, like oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? Like Windows 98, you can actually install something. I think it might be called Kernel X. It might be called something else, but it lets you run NT applications like Windows XP applications or Windows 7 applications on 98. So this seems like kind of the same idea as that. Also, I'm looking at the repository here for VxKex, and I don't see a license. Is there a license?
I don't know. It might be in the original VxKex because there's actually two on LinkedIn there. There's a
Oh, yeah.
VxKex NEXT, which is like an enhanced Chinese version of VxKex, and there's also VxKex, like the actual one.
I don't see a license in the original one either. License.
I don't know. I'd probably ask the developer.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool to see some of this stuff become useful to lots of folks, but I don't know. If you're running Windows 7 and you install this on it, I'd be kind of skeptical of running that machine on my network, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
I just-
yeah. Go
People
ahead.
can't let things die. People love Windows 7. It's like, I get it. It was like an amazing operating system, but it's not getting updates. It's not getting, it's
The
just move on
last
to
good
something
version
else.
of Windows. Some would argue.
I thought Windows 10 was fine.
I mean, it's fine, but then they keep shoving ads, and then they retroactively
But-
ruined it by fucking introducing Copilot into it, and they kept
That's
shoving that
11.
into my face.
Right. 7, I don't think 10 has that stuff, does it?
No, 10 has I have a Copilot button on my Windows 10 right now. It's right next
10
to this.
also had Cortana, which was terrible.
I
A
liked
little bit of
Cortana.
Wi-Fi here, a little bit of Wi-Fi there.
I liked it. It made it fun, and then they just went to like stingy, dusty old whatever. I don't know. Now, at least I had some fun installing stuff.
Yeah, whatever, man.
But I mean, yeah, VxKex NEXT. What a weird name. So it does have the source available. But speaking of something else was source available, Team Fortress 2. Valve updated the source SDK to now include the entirety of Team Fortress 2's source code. What do you guys think about this?
The source engine, source engine. Some of these. Why did they name the engine Source? I mean, come on, man. It makes it so hard.
Yeah.
It goes way back. I don't know what's their play with this, because there's not too many. Not too many games are coming out that are on Source these days. I don't even know if Source 2 is available. Is it yet to anyone that's
Well, remember we talked about
gaming folk?
this. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, yeah, Source 2 isn't technically available, but
Yeah.
thanks to Gary Newman from Face Punch in his new game, his upcoming game Sandbox, Source 2 will effectively be available for anyone to use.
Okay. Yeah, then this is useful. That's the thing. Like if Valve would have done right by that engine and actually really put a lot of resources into it and actually making it open to everyone to use more easily, like Source 2, and did some services kind of like Epic Games has been doing with Unreal, that would be my engine of choice, honestly, would be the Source 2 engine. But I'm using the Unreal engine, and I'm kind of stuck on it for now. I would like to see Valve really put a lot more resources into it, but that would require them to probably hire more people. I don't know if that's going to happen, but this is a good direction. So it's really cool that they're doing that.
Yeah. I think that this is pretty neat. Just the fact that Team Fortress 2 has been overrun by cheaters a lot. Like, that's my understanding. I haven't played it, but so the fact that Valve's now releasing the source code and letting the community kind of handle some of that is going to be pretty great, because there's a ton of dedicated Team Fortress 2 fans.
Yeah.
So hopefully, and then also this is just going to enable lots of mods and like total conversions and new games to be, developed. But this also includes like some of the Half-Life 2 anniversary updates, if I'm wrong. Am I right about that?
I think it does. I'll double check. I don't think they mentioned anything about that in the blog post for that, but we'll see what else. We're doing a big update to all of our back catalog source games, 64-bit binary support, yada yada. I think some of those, they're adding to some of the like Half-Life 2 enhancements. They're adding to like their other games, but I don't know if it necessarily means that Half-Life 2, like we're doing the Half-Life 2 anniversary updates.
Yeah,
not.
I know that that Half-Life 2's source code is available as well. It might be the actual multiplayer for Half-Life 2, but there were a lot of updates to this repo. Or maybe this is just a brand new repo. I don't know, but I don't know. I was under the impression that this contained a lot of updates for other source games too.
Oh no, man! I think it's you might just have to email Gaben.
This says, if you look at the README, it says contains the game code for Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, and Team Fortress 2. Yeah.
Now including Team Fortress 2. Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta say, man, I mean, here, so essentially the terms are you can publish the game, but it has to be free. You cannot make commercial games with their SDK. Or like an open source version of TF2, basically. You can also publish on Steam too, as like their own game, so to speak. Like you can do like Team Fortress 2 Classic. Remember when Valve took that down?
Yeah.
They could do that and then just publish on Steam. I think that was the original plan anyways, and now they can do it like for real.
It's been like 4 years since they took it down, right? They promised like 4 years ago that they were going to get this out, and then 4 years later they did. Valve time,
still a thing
for sure.
But I mean, this is pretty neat. I think this is a good move, but I think it's important to note that this is not technically open source. This is source available, because open source software necessarily means you can do whatever you want with the code that you produce or derive work from. That includes commercial sale, which you can't do under this license. I am pretty sure that if you create a game and you distribute it for free, and then you go to Valve and you're like, hey, can we get a different license? Valve would probably accommodate you. I can't say that for sure, but that's, just kind of my understanding of how Valve works. They would probably more than likely want to do that, but what?
I think they would, because Titanfall 1 and 2 are based on modified versions of the source engine.
Yeah,
and
there's a ton.
Yeah, those are commercial games. I can't think of any others recently besides, I don't know, Half-Life Alyx that are based on any source engine.
wasn't Call of Duty like based on Source Engine?
I thought it was based on like Quake, the Quake's engine, the old
Well,
the Call of Duty games.
I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong about that, but I feel like it's still based on like Call of Duty.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, I think the history was that EA wanted to make an FPS, and they wanted id to make Medal of Honor, but id
Yeah.
didn't have the time right now. But they recommended a studio that would eventually become Infinity Ward.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, I was wrong. It was id Tech 3. Yeah. So Quake. Would that be Quake 3? Yeah, Quake 3. Yep. Nice.
Imagine some sort of crazy amalgamation of Source 2 and id Tech's latest engine.
Mm.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, I'd be here for it. I mean,
Yeah, same.
The thing that I like about the id Tech is that it uses Vulkan, and it's like Vulkan first, you know. Just Vulkan is a much better API.
So, on a real crack team of engineers, id Tech is where it's at right now. Well, and Valve too.
id Tech's always been really good.
Yep.
Like they're essentially technically the ones that invented the first person shooter.
Yep.
I mean, yeah,
So
I would. And speaking of creating things,
Oh yeah. Grand Theft Auto 6, is it the next big creator platform? I'm skeptical of this.
so for those who don't know what a creator platform is, think of games like Roblox or Fortnite, where there's more used. Like Fortnite has a main game, the Battle Royale mode, and also Save the World. But like on Fortnite, there's also a bunch of like user created content that you can do. Like, I haven't really explored any of that. But like Roblox, I've seen like in Roblox, you can make all sorts of games in Roblox. I've seen people make Sonic games in Roblox, and it's not like Sonic is black or anything like in Roblox. No, they use like an actual Sonic model in the Roblox engine. I don't know what the hell's going on with Roblox, but they can just make full on games. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I've seen like like a Counter-Strike Roblox. I don't know. There's a lot going on there. The idea is that Rockstar supposedly is in talks with a lot of creators from the likes of, people creating these Fortnite and Roblox experiences. And big speculation is that Grand Theft Auto, they want to make Grand Theft Auto that sort of game as well. Like a user-generated like wonderland of content.
monetizing the mod community, because Grand Theft Auto was pretty big with the mod community. Right?
Well, yeah,
So,
they made 5M and
sense.
they bought out 5M.
yeah. As
Um,
long as they don't ban mods or really go hard into that type of stuff, which I think they've on and off tried to do in the past, I am totally behind. I'm fine with them doing that as long as there's also free mods. So whatever. As long as they don't ban it.
well,
I'd be much more bullish on this idea if Take-Two and Rockstar wasn't actively hostile to their community. I mean, like their fans, their fans were working on open source versions of whatever they were, Grand Theft Auto 1 or GTA 3 and Vice City, right? And then they sent an army of lawyers to DMCA the Git repos for those projects. And it's like, it's not like they were distributing copyrighted material, right? They were just reworking an engine. And these freaking, I don't know. If they're going to be hostile to open projects like that, then I'm not going to support them in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do with this once they get enough? Because I think they've gotten a little on the greedy side in the sense of all their plays have been lately, and once this comes out and it starts making a lot of money, what are they going to do to try to make sure they make even more money the next year? Like, it's not, I don't know.
I mean, they're very litigious, much like Nintendo. Like, I edited a fan the deck video. Fun fact, by the way, I edited some fan deck videos back in the day, and I wanted to include footage from Red Dead Redemption because there was a news story in regards to that getting a new port or whatever. And guess what?
Oh,
You can't use footage. You can't use trailer footage. Every other gameplay trailer I was able to use just fine, but not fucking Red Dead Redemption.
And when that happens, that really pisses me off because I'm like, you guys don't want, like, this is almost giving you free marketing. What are you doing?
Like Nintendo doesn't even do that shit. Like, I can use Nintendo trailers just fine.
I've had issues with Nintendo in the past doing that too, but
I mean,
not too much. Not like Rockstar. Like, it is guaranteed with Rockstar.
Yeah.
Like in my
10 years ago, Nintendo was like DMCAing like videos that used their trailers, but now they've they were like requiring people to join their MCN so that they could revenue share when you're using their stuff. Now they don't do that, but still, like, that, it still chaps my ass when I think about like how greedy these companies are. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So anyways, the idea behind this creator platform is that, well, the difference between the modding community and something like this is that Rockstar would inevitably take money off of this. And, let's look at Roblox rates. I believe the last known rate I had heard was that Roblox takes 80% of revenue from the creators, and the creators get 20%.
Wow. I mean, even Google has a better revenue split than that on YouTube. Like, what the?
Like, I think things have changed. I'm not entirely sure because there's been a lot of outcry, especially surrounding the potential for child labor laws to be violated, since some of these creators are kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's the biggest problem with them going after Roblox is that some of them are kids, some of them are going after kids in a very predatory way. Like, Roblox is infamous. There's a reason why I would never let my kid play Roblox. And it's because they have been notoriously bad at actually punishing and vetting out a lot of the potential pedophilia and all that goes on. Or
Jesus.
Like, I should say predators more than pedophilia, but like predators. It's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Anecdotally, I know someone's kid that was targeted by one.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And almost met up with them if it would have been.
Are they okay?
If it would have, yeah, they're fine, but it was close.
Man, that is painful, man. Like
it's bad.
Thank God they didn't meet up with them, but it would suck if they like did things that they would probably regret in the future.
And they have not done anything to really to really take care of it. Like, they'll do little things, but nothing like just nothing real, like, worthwhile. It's disgusting.
There's a pretty good documentary about this, about the Roblox and their weird like moderation that barely exists. I think it's from People Make Games. Have you guys seen that? They did like a 2-part investigation. It might have been a 3-part investigation about like Roblox. It's actually really, really good and terrifying. But I actually sent it to one of my friends who has like a 13-year-old daughter. But at the time, I think she was probably 7 or 8 or 9, something like that. So, and I was like, don't let your kids play Roblox, dude. Like, it's not good.
If they're not going to take the extra measures to vet this type of stuff and to work on all that, and even that, like, I don't know if kids should be accessing that type of thing so early on too. Like, it's
I don't know, man. Roblox is fucked up. It's crazy too, because I remember hearing about Roblox wanted to make a dating thing, a dating experience in Roblox, and like, I get it. They have a rating system that can like age restrict things, and it's supposed to be 17 plus or whatever. But like, that's kind of inappropriate for something like Roblox, which is primarily seen as like a kids game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing if you do that shit in Grand Theft Auto 6, right? Like, that is an M-rated game, like as M-rated as a game can get.
Yeah.
But it's another thing.
Imagine, like, I mean, even with Rockstar, I feel like moderation would be fairly lax. Like, they probably wouldn't allow like egregious stuff, but I would bet that like they'd have a special like ESRB label saying like user generated content is not rated by the ESRB, and that's their get out of jail free card. You know?
Yeah,
And
online interactions are not rated by the ESRB. That does exist. Like, you can play like Smash Bros. And someone will like curse and like call you a bunch of racial slurs. It happens in Party Animals too. Have you guys played Party Animals?
Nope.
It's like, have you guys played Gang Beasts?
No.
Gang Beasts was fun. Yeah.
It's like a newer, like almost next generation version of Gang Beasts. Think of it, but instead of like ragdoll guys, it's a bunch of like ragdoll like animals and stuff that you can fight and play like a bunch of mini games. It's really fun. But what's even funnier are the amount of sweaty people on there that like will get really pissed off if you like destroy them or some bullshit like that, and it's super toxic in like an E-rated game. It's so funny.
Ugh, sweaty gamers, dude.
That's funny.
That's the perfect way to describe it, dude. Yeah. I don't know. I just see like there's a potential for extreme toxicity with user generated content in GTA 6. Like, you know, it's a game about like stealing and murder. And what are people going to take that for inspiration and make awful shit? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to judge it before it comes out, but I am skeptical.
I mean, that's probably what it's going to be. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's probably going to happen, but at the same time, though, it'll be interesting to see what creators create in GTA 6. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to buy it, especially if it's a fucking $100 video game. Remember that. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
I'll only buy it if it's $120. Just so that I can spend more, and I'll buy 3 copies just for you guys, too.
The game is speculated to have a budget of $2 billion.
A budget of $2 billion?
Yes.
I hope that this destroys. I hope that nobody buys this game and that it destroys Take-Two.
Dude,
It's not going to.
Dude, it's not going to destroy Take-Two. It's going to destroy Rockstar. They're going to lay off everyone at Rockstar and like lay off a bunch of other studios, and the execs are going to give themselves a $200 pay bonus. 200% pay bonus.
Yeah.
Well, okay, the layoffs maybe, but I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I've heard of Rockstar being too bad on that front, but I think they've already made over a few billion off of just GTA 5 and its online GTA 5 online stuff. So, or at least with GTA 5 and the online, I think they've already made multiple billions. So it's not going to break them. I don't think so, and I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a success. There
would have to be some sort of unforeseen natural disaster that like make GTA 6 fail, in my opinion.
I mean, there's a couple happening right now, and a couple of things happening this year that could maybe there'll be a software tariff. Who knows on like domestic? I don't know how that's not even how tariffs work. But like, that's not even how tariffs work. But you know, I don't know.
The interesting question is, can they sell GTA 6 in China? I feel like they would need the Chinese market at this point.
I don't.
Not if they're charging $120 a copy.
They're not charging $120. That's just what I'd be willing to pay.
I know.
More out of like, I'm not willing to pay $120. I'm not willing to pay $100.
No.
I'm not willing to pay $60. I'm gonna wait until it's on sale. So,
yeah,
dude, it's gonna go on sale from $120 to $60 in like 3 years. Half off.
And then my monkey brain will say, "Yeah, that's a good deal. I'm gonna buy it," and I'll probably.
Here's the most perverted thing about all of this. Even if GTA 6 like sells poorly or even like has almost no sales, they can just fall back to GTA 5 online.
Yeah, no, they have the money. They have.
Yeah. The biggest thing is like with user generated content, how are they going to like vet it for cheaters? You know, like I just like cheating in GTA 6 online with UGC, I feel like is going to be inevitable.
Dude, obviously they're just going to ban Linux players. Don't you know all Linux players are cheaters?
Yeah, well, see, I hypothesize that they're going to allow Linux and support it for a year or two, just so that they can scapegoat Linux users down the line. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, speaking of cheaters, Epic versus a cheater. Does the punishment fit the crime? High Tech, you were briefing us on this before we started the podcast. What's this about?
So this prominent Fortnite content creator, let me see what his name was again. Sorry. His name was Repulse. He cheated in Fortnite by letting someone else take control of his account to qualify for the Fortnite Championship Series. And I guess he won or something like that. I don't know. But the point is that they caught him with his pants down. And they took him to court, and the Epic won. And here were the things there were his demands. There were Epic's demands. So first and foremost, they banned his account, and they banned him from ever competing in a Fortnite tournament ever again, like an official Epic one. And then he had to donate all of his winnings to charity. And then finally, they made him upload a video on his YouTube channel, like admitting guilt, admitting fault. And let's go over what the video says. Right, so there's no sound in this one. It says, "Hey everyone, this is Repulse God. Hold on. I shared my Epic Games account with another user, Forbes, to qualify for the 2023 Fortnite Championship Series Grand Finals. My actions violated Epic's rules, and I was disqualified from the tournament. Epic took legal action against me, and now I'm banned from participating in Fortnite tournaments forever. I also did have to pay monetary settlement, which includes the prize money I received but did not win fairly, which Epic will donate to charity." Cheating in tournaments ruins the fun for all the players who earned their spot in the tournaments, and I apologize to the Fortnite community for my actions. I won't ever cheat in Fortnite again. Oh, sorry, that's the end of the video now.
So, first off, he won the tournament. So was he disqualified because like a region, or what? Why was he not? Because it sounds like he was good enough to win the actual tournament.
He shared his account with someone else
to win the tournament.
I guess to qualify, and also okay. And then yeah, so I mean, account sharing is a pretty bannable offense. Like first and foremost, most of the time you will be banned in games for doing that if they catch you doing it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Why wouldn't they then the second place winner get the become the first? Like they should have just done that. Like why didn't they go back and like I get like donating the winnings to charity is great and all, but that second place winner should have.
The second place player, I think he did get a prize. I mean, there was a second place pool.
Yeah, but he was actually the winner of the whole tournament. So I don't know, man. I think there was I don't like how Epic handled it either, but you know, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so
don't cheat, I guess.
Don't cheat,
especially. Why do that though? Like, why do it that way?
So here's the question: do you think the punishment was too extreme? Do you think publicly humiliating him was too extreme? Or is it
Sorry, go ahead.
Or is it an effective form of anti-cheat?
I think there isn't enough shame in the world, and I'm going to stand on that. I think that is a universal truth, and there needs to be more public shaming of stuff like this.
Public shaming? Is it the most effective anti-cheat ever devised?
I don't think so.
I don't know about that, but I mean, the fact that, like, I think that some of the most effective anti-cheat is to let cheaters cheat, find them, detect them, let them cheat, and then do a massive ban wave. Like, and just like, you know, you're a cheater, and you go on and you say, or companies that do like anti-piracy stuff where it's like subtle little things in the game that people then go on the forums and they're like, what's going on? Why is this happening to my game? And they're like, because you pirated our game. Like, I think that those are good. Funny. It's funny and it works. You know,
it's funny, and it's such a troll move. I do like that type of thing with the anti-piracy stuff. But with the humiliation stuff, this one's crazy. I've never heard of like a court or like a judge deciding a case like this. Like, okay, you have to go on your YouTube, or at least, I'm sure it was like Epic wanted it, but to say that that he cheated on his YouTube channel, which is crazy. That's the only part where I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, this is such a crazy case. And I do think honestly, like, instead of banning people, they should just pit them all in the same game. So anyone that's a cheater gets pitted against other cheaters, and so they're all cheating, and just keep them just pinned over there because they're going to buy another account. If you do humiliation, it could help, but a lot of people are private enough to where they just create new accounts. They can just, you're never going to stop it the way we're going right now.
You know, I checked out like this guy's channel, and he doesn't do any voiceover. It's all like montage of him playing Fortnite, and he only has 50,000 views, you know, on his most recent upload before this, which was 3 years ago, and he's only got 38,000 subscribers. So honestly, I feel like this isn't enough of an embarrassment. Like, honestly. Although this video where he announced that he's a cheater has 304,000 views. So
I mean, people just love to clown on other people.
Yeah. So is he making money from this? Is that video monetized? Do you know?
That would be so funny if it was.
Wait, I'm gonna check if it's monetized.
That's funny.
You know, this kind of reminds me of a case back in Destiny 2. I used to play a lot of Destiny 2. I quit when the last expansion came out because that was basically the end of the story. It's kind of like how the MCU ended with Thanos. Back to that. But anyways, so there was a very prominent content creator called Bakken Gangsta who used to make a lot of montages and stuff for Destiny 2. And it made him look like he was really good at the game. But here's the thing, though. On Twitter, he complained about being banned for basically no reason. And then, later on, he kept arguing with a Destiny community manager. And then the Destiny community manager got approval from the security team to explain publicly why that guy got banned for cheating. And it was so crazy. It basically destroyed his YouTube career because, I mean, he was a pretty big Destiny content creator at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get why they feel emboldened. That's the problem, is people feel emboldened or not enough awareness that what they're about to do is stupid. Yeah,
even you don't and some people brag about cheating too. Do you see sports guys bragging about steroids? Oh, dude, I am so juiced up on those steroids today, man. They're making me game better. Some cheaters actually believe that the cheaters are making the game themselves better at the game too. No, it's the fucking tools. It's the fucking aimbot wall hacks.
It's bizarre.
Yeah,
it's bizarre how.
And the crazy part is, I've seen this. Some people will actively buy multiple copies of a game just so that they can keep cheating after they get banned. Is that not the definition of insanity? I've seen this primarily with CS:GO, back when CS:GO used to be a paid game. By the way, they would stockpile multiple CS:GO keys. And then when they get banned, they just gift another account a copy of CS:GO, and then they would just continue playing on the other account too. I think it got to the point where Valve made it so that you couldn't gift CS:GO to other players. So if you had a stockpile of CS:GO keys in your Steam inventory, you couldn't trade them. I don't know. It's pure insanity.
It really is.
I also want to mention some of the comments on here are awesome on this guy's video.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, read them. You should full screen it. I want to see these too.
Oh yeah, here. I won't ever cheat in Fortnite again. No shit, bro. You banned. ChatGPT wrote my Fortnite apology.
Dude.
This should be a loading screen in the game.
Dude, people are so good at roasting. It's unreal.
Yeah, this one's my favorite. Bro got told by the teacher to apologize to the whole class. I love it. I think just this roasting in the comments might be sufficient to satisfy my own personal sense of justice.
Okay, I agree with that. It is
remember, kids, if you're watching this, remember, if you cheat in Fortnite and Epic catches you, they will drag you, they will imprison you and drag you across town hall.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
They won't kill you.
Is the stocks.
They won't kill you. They'll just kill your social life.
Yeah, I mean, far be it for me to defend Epic, because they are particularly litigious as well. But I will say that this kind of stuff, I think we need more of. We need more people to just get roasted in the comments for being a cheater. I just, it's funny.
I'm not saying we're advocating bullying, but I am saying I don't feel sorry for the cheaters.
Well, look, if you deserve it, if you deserve to be bullied because you were doing it to other people, by cheating, you're robbing other people of victory. I don't know. Who's the guy from
Elon Musk?
What's the guy? No, there's a guy. Well, I mean, he deserves to get bullied, but Whitest Kids You Know, right? Where they had a thing about kids need to get bullied. Some kids need to get bullied. I don't know. I thought that was hilarious.
Dude. Speaking of Elon Musk, why hasn't GGG banned him from Path of Exile 2? I mean, I'm sure if someone else were sharing Path of Exile 2 accounts, they would probably be banned. Why not fucking Elon Musk?
Well, because Elon Musk is the ultimate whale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's funding that whole game.
He pays other players to play, not fucking GGG for whatever reason.
It's huge publicity for them too, probably.
To keep them,
I swear to
ban
God,
them.
these companies. Well, yeah, I mean, these companies have a pros versus cons, should we ban them workflow that they run through. I bet you that every single one of them does, because it's should we ban Elon Musk? No, because he brings in enough money that it justifies the bad publicity.
Dude, imagine the shitstorm if Elon Musk actually makes it to the top of the leaderboard with his army of ghost players.
Yes, army of ghost players.
Yeah, like a ghost writer.
I'm not here for this reality.
Dude, I know. What is this?
What? He's ruining every aspect of my life. I can't buy any cars. I can't play any games now.
You can't ride on airplanes, but for a different reason.
I can't ride on... Oh my gosh, that's bad too. Ugh. Oh well. At least I have my single-player games and my Xbox, right, Gardner?
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Dude, he's gonna try to buy Microsoft and make it the Tesla box.
Oh my gosh. No, he's gonna make it illegal to play old games.
It's gonna be the Xbox. Come on,
dude. Just add more X. It's the XX Xbox.
Don't give him ideas. He loves X so much. That seems like something he'd do. He'd buy Xbox.
Look, it's formerly Microsoft, who are notoriously bad at naming things, and it would be the 5th version of the Xbox, right? So it would be the XXXX Xbox.
Oh my gosh!
Come on.
So I will say this though,
or to make it shorter, it would be the triple X Xbox. No, it would be the triple X Xbox.
Oh my gosh!
The quintuple Xbox.
There you go. Quintuple X Xbox, because you gotta got 5. Oh yeah, quintuple X. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, quintuple S5. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Just right here, right now, what we're doing is more thought than Microsoft put into naming the Xbox Series than what we did. We did more work.
Dude. So apparently, the story behind why they didn't name it the Xbox 2 was because PlayStation was on the PlayStation. I think we talked about this, didn't we?
Yeah. PS3. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's crazy. There's a lot of crazy shit going on, and to be honest, man, I'm not all for it. I don't know, man. There's just so much going on these days, and I don't know what. I can't keep up anymore. There's so much.
It's why you sit in a dark room and play original Xbox, GameCube, and PS2.
The dark room. Why
That's
not?
what they want.
Dude, why don't you have like a neon Xbox logo, like flat, like in the background?
Well, here's the deal. So I was playing original Xbox. I was playing Halo on my CRT over here, and I had to close the window because the screen was just not bright enough, and I couldn't, like, even with the flashlight on in the game, I couldn't see some of the dark stuff going on. So I closed the window. But also because you don't need to see outside if you're playing video games. You can sit in the dark. It's fine.
You have a CRT?
Hell yeah, brother. I have a Sony Trinitron Wega, which is like
What?
the premium, dude. It's a widescreen, flat screen, CRT, HD up to 720p progressive, and then 1080i integrated, interlace. That's what it is. And I have a RetroTink 5X, and all of my analog consoles plug into that, and then they all get piped into HDMI into the TV.
Is that
It's pretty
TV not
sick.
super expensive these days? Holy shit.
I got it for free on Craigslist
What?
5 years ago. It's awesome.
No fucking way. You got that on Craigslist for
Absolutely.
free.
I got it for free,
If
dude.
it's
This guy was
Craigslist,
like,
he had to pay something.
nope, I got it for free, dude. Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying, but no.
The payment was he gets shouted on your video, on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You get paid an exposure.
I drove like 3 hours to pick this up, right? And the guy, like, when I got there, he's like, you look really young. How old are you? And I was like, I think I might have been 30 at the time. And he's like, why would a 30-year-old want a TV like this? And I was like, because video games, man. And he's like, oh. And then he like came back a couple minutes later. And he's like, I'm still giving you this for free, but I should have sold it to you. Because I guess he had like looked it up online and it was worth like, $120 or something.
You should have just said, oh, I like collecting old junk.
Yeah, I should have said that.
You would have
But,
spared him the pain and agony.
yeah, it's a really nice TV though. I highly recommend everybody get one if you can. It's 2006. It was like the last one Sony ever made.
Have you
On that
considered
note-
plugging your Steam Deck into it?
I have. I have a dedicated mini PC plugged in that I can play games through it as well. With Chimera.
Have you considered plugging in a Mister board to it?
Dude, I have a Mr. Board plugged into it.
Oh shit!
And I have a PlayStation 4 and I have my Switch, which, dude, playing Mario Odyssey on there is amazing. And I have what else do I got? A Super Nintendo Classic Edition, Mr. Board, mini PC, N64, GameCube, Wii, Xbox, PlayStation 2. Yeah, bunch of stuff. It's pretty great.
You know what you should do though for your next endeavor? You should build a fight stick, like an arcade
yeah.
stick. Have you ever
Yeah.
done that? I've done that. It's really
I have
awesome.
not. Yeah, I want to build a fight stick and have like an arcade cabinet built in, like build it into an arcade cabinet.
Yeah,
I think that might be my next project.
yeah. I haven't built an arcade cabinet with it, but I have built a fight stick. I've used you can buy the individual buttons and the actual joystick itself in places, and you can also, and as for the layout, you can choose like a standard layout, like I think you can choose like the Namco layout, which I think is the standard, like 4 buttons at the top, 4 buttons at the bottom. You can do it for fighting games and such. You can wire it in such a way that it like is compatible with modern systems as well. Like I have a brushed USB in my custom fight stick, and that supports PS4, PS5, Xbox, Switch, PC, all that good stuff.
Nice.
And I also, and I mean, as for the buttons, you can use whatever you want. I mean, a lot of people nowadays, they use, like a lot of like stick manufacturers, they use Sanwa parts. I think you've probably heard of the term, right?
Oh yeah, I've parted out a Sanwa build.
Yeah, I use Seimitsu buttons though, and Seimitsu joystick
Yeah.
because I'm a grappler player. And there's a
Nice.
there's a little trick you can do. So grapplers in like Street Fighter and like those fighting games, you have to do a 360 motion to execute their grapples, right? But you can actually actually flick the stick and it like hits all of the like directions to do like an almost instant grapple. It's called the Hijiki screw, I think it's called. It originated from Japan, the technique. And it was actually shown in an anime about fighting games called High Score Girl. Oh, I actually got to show you. It's actually really cool. Hold on. So, hold on. Well, a little bonus for all of the guys watching this on YouTube. Not saying that the guys on the audio is
So-
missing out, but they're kind of missing out. Well, let me slow that down for the audience. Playback speed 0.25.
That's
Oh, cool.
It's really hard to do. I can't do it consistently, but I also haven't been.
Yeah.
But I'm also not like someone that's been playing since Super Turbo. I'm not old enough to like have played Super Turbo in its heyday.
Yeah.
those fight the man techniques and stuff like that in those types of games are crazy.
And
Yeah.
plus, there's a reason why most fighting games are played on a fight stick, and it's because think about it, like your face buttons, they're all you use your thumb to like press all four of those buttons, right? But on a
Mhm.
fight stick, each finger gets its own button, so automatically it makes things easier for like button combinations or piano keying buttons for things like that.
Mhm.
All right, that's
Yeah.
the end of my that's the end of my
No, it's all
I know
good.
more.
rant.
Well, on that note, I think we've covered all the stories, and we've gone off on our retro gaming tangent, which we often do.
Always good.
Yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. We love doing this, and we're gonna do some comments. Like, you guys leave us some comments, send us some Fediverse comments. We'll be checking those out pretty soon and having a dedicated section for that. Thanks everybody for watching. I gotta run because I got some chores I gotta do.
My bed calls. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I might take a nap before I do the chores, honestly.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
Cool.
All
Thank
right.
you all for being here. Appreciate it. We'll see you.
Later, guys.
All right, later.
Peace out.